Good morning, Unity community. Thank you. I'm your host, Shirley Thompson, and welcome to our weekly gathering here at Unity. We warmly welcome all people, all faiths, and all lifestyles. Today we stand upon the unceded ancestral lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples, noble guardians of these lands since time immemorial. It is here that we gather to learn, to grow, and deepen our awareness of spirit, rooted in honor for their presence. Whether you're with us live in the sanctuary today or tuning in from via YouTube or Zoom, we're glad you could make it. We've got some great music coming up, a group meditation, and an inspiring talk to provide you with ways of increasing your well-being, happiness, and peace of mind. At Unity, our mission is to build personal and community well-being through universal spiritual teachings and practices. And now, as we come fully into this moment, I invite you to join me in our opening invocation. Together now, there is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Today's daily word is authentic. I live proudly as my authentic self. One of the best ways to feel the fullness of my divinity is to express the uniqueness of my humanity. There is no one on earth who is exactly like me, no one who has my history and experiences, no one who has my particular talents and gifts. I make the world a richer place when I show up as the person I am. If I am too timid to share my gifts, if I carry shame or regret about my past, or I feel afraid to let others see the real me, I am not being my authentic self. Authenticity means being who I am with confidence. I am a divine being, a child of God. I take my place in the world with joy, knowing I belong here just as much as everyone else. Rooted in my divinity, I celebrate my humanity by being my authentic self. So let's get ready to receive some wisdom with 5 quick affirmations to get us started. So together, I am rooted in cosmic love. I am a co-creator with the divine. I sow kindness and reap connection. I am a genius at finding good. My faith causes the good to grow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Rhona Segarra. Rhona is the senior minister at Unity of New Westminster. Rhona loves people and is committed to unity principles. She shares practical, empowering ideas that you can immediately put to work. So please join me in welcoming back Reverend Rhona Segarra.
Thank you, Shirley. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Unity of Vancouver, and thank you for the invitation for me to be here today. This is becoming a very pleasant, recurring experience for me, so thank you for the invitation. It is lovely to be here. As we prepare ourselves to hear today's message, I invite you to close your eyes with me for a few minutes in a time of meditation. And if you find that your preference is for your eyes to remain open, then just allow your gaze to rest gently on a focal point in front of you. And become aware as you rest your eyes. Begin with your out breath. and breathe out. And that follows with an in-breath and an out and an in. As we embrace this rhythm of life, the outflow, the inflow, with every breath, allow your body to sink deeper into your seat. Until it feels as if your body is doing no work at all. Notice your thoughts and how, no matter your intention, they continue to do what they do, think. And rather than resist that, just notice your thoughts. Give thanks for your thoughts. And then allow yourself to sink beneath them. As you give yourself this gift of a peaceful pause. As you hear my words, I invite you to hear them as if you are speaking. I am now immersed in the comfort of love. I feel this love saturating my mind and my body. I feel comfort because I know that this energy of love, the energy of eternal goodness, is with me at all times. The energy of love is with me in all situations. From that thought alone, my spirit feels lifted. I feel safe. My mind is still. My mind is at ease. I imagine the spirit of love flowing through me now. And I feel security and tranquility and comfort washing over me. Peace floods my mind and my body. With every heartbeat, I become more aware of this peaceful presence that is within me always. Peace, love, healing, calm are but a breath away. My mind is poised. My heart is serene. And in the silence, I echo, my mind is poised. My heart is serene. Peace is always with me. And so it is.
I like the sunrise because it brings a new day. I like a new day. It brings new hope, they say. I like the sunrise, blazing in the new sky. Nighttime is weary. Oh, and so am I. Every evening I wish upon a star that my brand new bright tomorrow isn't very far. When that heavy black curtain of night is raised up high, way out of sight, I like the sunrise, so heavenly to see. I like the sunrise. I hope it likes me. wish upon a star that my brand new bright tomorrow isn't very far. When that heavy blue curtain of night is raised up high, way out of sight, I like the sunrise, so heavenly to see. I like the sunrise. I hope it likes me. I like the sunrise. I hope it likes me.
Thank you, Tom. So we're in the middle of summer. This is my favorite season. And in summer, I have the privilege of performing a whole bunch of weddings. Yesterday, I finished my 165th wedding.
Okay.
I know, isn't that fun? So much fun. And a few weeks ago, I performed a wedding just across the street and down a few blocks at Van Dusen Gardens. And then after this lovely wedding, because it was on the grounds, I could just wander around the gardens. And if you have never been to Van Dusen, who here has been to Van Dusen Gardens? Most of us. It is a relatively inexpensive admission fee. And the grounds are lovely. And one of the things I particularly like about them is you can see that there is order in the presentation, but they're not sort of overly manicured. You know, they're natural in the way that their presentation is offered to us. They're not so perfectly cured and presented that it looks too what's the right word? Not phony, but too manicured. They're lovely. And behind the scenes, you know that in order for this apparently natural and unmanicured look to actually work, there is a lot of intention that is happening behind the scenes. There are people who are weeding those plants. There are people who are nurturing those plants and feeding those plants so that they each have just the right amount of space to blossom and grow and look amazing and be part of this order of low plants at the front, and then sort of medium-ish plants behind, and then higher plants. And at the same time, there's this seamlessness to it all that just is beautiful. And I wonder if we can't use that same feeling to explain how we can make our life and sow the seeds of our life and tend the garden of our life. Could we use plants and what we do in our gardens as a metaphor for how we show up. Because we are gardeners in our life. And just as these plants, which appear to be completely random, behind the scenes we know that there is intention and attention being given to them. So is it possible that that same idea could be true for us? That with intention and attention, we can grow and seed our ideas and our experience of life so that it is vibrant and joyful and colorful and filled with zeal and excitement. From my point of view, I say the answer to this is yes. And in order for that to be true, we want to look at our garden of life now. Is it chaotic and kind of weeds in some places and pretty flowers in others? Or is there enough order and intention in how we conduct our life that it feels as if it's vibrant and colorful and energetic? Jesus told a story of the story called the parable of the sower. It is found in the chapter 8 of Luke, beginning in verse 5. And it goes like this. A sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell on the path and was trampled on, and the birds of the air ate it up. Some fell on the rock, and as it grew up, it withered for lack of moisture. Some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew with it and choked it. Some fell into good soil, and when it grew, it produced 100-fold. And as Jesus said this, he called out, "Let anyone with ears to hear listen." The disciples, okay, side note, disciples hung out with Jesus a lot, yeah? And you'd think they'd be smart by now. Sometimes I'm not so sure that they were, because they asked him what it meant. And what Jesus said was this: the ones on the path are those who have heard, and the devil comes and takes away the word from their hearts, so they may not believe and be saved. The ones on the rock are those, when they hear the word, receive it with joy, but they have no root. They believe only for a while, and then in a time of testing, they fall away. As for what fell among the thorns, these are the ones who hear, but as they go on their way, they are choked by the cares and riches and pleasures of life, and their fruit does not mature. But as for that in the good soil, these are the ones who, when they hear the word, hold it fast in an honest and good heart, and bear fruit with patient endurance. Can you see yourself and the ideas that come to you as seeds? Have you ever been like one of these seeds? Perhaps you've had an idea and you start along the path, and then some devil comes along and says, "That's not for you." They take away your idea and you allow it to fall behind and by the wayside. Or perhaps you've been a seed which lands on the rock, who, when they hear the idea, you get super excited. And you think, yes, this is for me. And then life hits the fan. And we go back to our old patterns because the idea hasn't rooted well. Or perhaps we've been like the seed which falls among the thorns, where we've heard an idea and we see the value clearly about the idea, but so many other things are calling on our time and our energy that we just don't have space to make the commitment. And it falls away. We see the value, but life sometimes gets in the way, and our enthusiasm for this wonderful idea is lost. If we want our seeds to bear fruit, we want good soil. That's where we bear fruit 100-fold. How do we tend our garden of life then? In light of this parable and in light of the metaphor of this beautiful garden that we could create if we had good soil. I'm going to suggest 3 steps. Weed, seed, and feed. What's the first thing that you do when you are preparing a garden? You clear space. You clear away the things that aren't going to fit in your picture of what the garden is going to look like. Notice, you may have noticed that in my meditation today, I suggested that we start by noticing our out-breath. Where often when we do a meditation, we say, notice how your breath comes in, and then we talk about going out. But what's true is that nothing can come in unless there is space for it to come in. So notice the exhale and how when you exhale, everything relaxes. I used to dance flamenco. My sister used to be the teacher. And what I noticed is flamenco can be a challenging dance form because you've got hands and you've got feet and you've got body and you've got head, and they're all doing things, and sometimes they're not doing it at the same rhythm because they're all kind of interchanging, and they work together to make this magnificent dance form, and it's not always easy. And what I noticed for myself, and I noticed in my fellow dancers, is the more I told myself, this is hard, I can't do this, I'm never going to get this, the harder it was for the good to actually come in so I could actually hear it and be open to it and try it and persevere until it took hold. That thinking of I can't do it was filling my brain so much that nothing else could get in. What I needed to do, and what I learned to do, was to notice that weed, which was clouding the ability for the beauty to be seen, and move it a little bit to the back burner. Get rid of it. Give it its own space. If I couldn't get rid of it entirely, then at least move it off to the side so that I didn't have to allow it to take the space of the new coming in. How do you do this? Well, several years ago, Marie Kondo created this movement which was about the whole idea of cleaning your space. And it was called the life-changing magic of tidying up. And she nailed it down to essentially 4 questions, 4 words. And that was, look at anything and say, does it spark joy? And I thought, cool, this is something I can handle. So I went to my closet and I looked at all my things and brought them all out. And I looked at each piece and I'm like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. And I still found it hard because each one of these pieces sparked a certain amount of joy in me until I looked at the whole mess that my closet was, which in its entirety did not spark joy because I couldn't find anything. I hope some of you can relate. And if you can't relate with clothing, maybe you could relate with papers on your desk. In order for good to come in, we need to look at what is no longer serving us and get rid of it. What sparks joy? There's a story told about 2 monks who are walking on the road and they come across a river bank and the bridge has been washed out and there's a bride on this side of the river, but her wedding is on that side of the river. And she's weeping because she needs to get to her wedding and she can't get across. And the one monk looks at the other and makes a decision because he's so touched by her story and her sad situation. And he says, I'll give you a ride. Hop on my back, we'll go across. And the other monk is just horrified. Why? Because in their sect, it was forbidden to have any interaction with someone from the opposite gender. Nonetheless, they make their way over the water. The monk who carried the woman drops her gently down, so off she goes to her happily ever after, hopefully. And the 2 monks carry on their way to their destination. And the hours go by. And one monk is just having a lovely time looking around at his day, and the other monk is just seething. And finally, he can't stand it anymore, and he turns to the monk who had helped the woman, and he says, "How could you? You know that it's forbidden to even go near someone from the opposite gender. How could you pick her up and carry her?" To which the monk, who had been enjoying his lovely day, said, "I put that woman down at the riverbank. You've been carrying her ever since." Are there any things in your life that you might consider putting down at the riverbank? Perhaps it's a relationship issue that you've hung on to for years, that's weighing you down, that's preventing you from accepting good. Weed. Leave it at the riverbank so that you can enjoy where you are now. Next, seed. We create a place to place our seeds once we've weeded. Once we've created this place that is uncluttered, now we have ground to put new things. What are you going to do with that? It can be super exciting and a little nerve-wracking because you don't know what to do. Well, think of your words and your thoughts and your behaviors as seeds. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said that every thought is a seed and brings forth after its kind. Every thought is a seed. It's almost as if your word is your wand. What if every time you speak, every time you think, every time you act, you are planting a seed? You are. You have the power to influence the world around you. You are an energetic being, and you know, at some level, you know that you have some power to raise things up or drop them down, depending on what you're thinking. Be careful what you seed. Limit the thoughts that you don't like. Sure, they're going to happen. Life's going to happen. Stuff is going to hit the fan. And be with that for a while, but don't camp there. Let that become something that you change the channel from, and instead shift to things that feel more practical, more progressive, frankly, more intelligent to work with. Sow what you want to grow. And here are a couple thoughts to consider about seeds. The first is that we cannot plant an acorn and expect an apple tree to grow. And yet, sometimes it feels that that's what we do. Just as we can't expect a dog to meow or a cat to bark, we need to know that when we plant an acorn, it's an oak tree that's going to grow. One inevitably leads to another. Likewise, we cannot expect peace to happen when we are living in a place of war. War being, we are right. We want to sow what we want to grow. And if we want more peace on the planet, if we want more love in our families, then the way to achieve that is not by showing up with a warlike attitude. We want to take a stand for peace, but a stand for peace. It was Mother Teresa who said, I was once asked why I don't participate in anti-war demonstrations. And I said that I will never do that, but as soon as you have a pro-peace rally, I will be there. The language matters. The other thing about seeds is that one seed cannot make another seed change into a likeness of themselves, of the first seed. And it seems kind of obvious. If I'm an acorn, I can't make someone who is an apple seed become an oak tree. But oh my gosh, do we not do that all the time? Do we not expect other people to be kind of mini-me's of us because we're so good? Or is that just me? I had one of my instructors at seminary used to say, other people are not failed attempts at being you. And I've often thought of that because it's such a true statement that so often what we do is expect other people to be like us and think like us and act like us and have the same values as us, but no. As my friend Martha says, hi-ho to hi-ho, it's off to hell we go if we think this way. What if, instead, we focused on being the very best seedling that we can be and grow as tall and strong and flexible and wise as we can be, and give other seedlings the chance to grow into who they are? And trust that there is an inherent wisdom within all of us, because we are all part of the same creative energy. It's not up to us. So instead, the question that we want to ask when we seed is, do I spark joy? Do I uplift? Do I make people laugh? Do I make them see their beauty? Do I encourage them? And do I do it in the little things as well as the big things? My dad was the best that I've ever seen at this. He would show up at the US-Canada border and pull up at the border guard, and he'd say, "I'd like a hamburger and fries, please." And the people would laugh because it was unique and it was funny and it was clear, at least in those days, that it was intended to be something that added levity. He would go into a restaurant and tell the waitress that he'd like a watermelon sandwich. And you could see them going like, "What the?" But they would laugh. And there wasn't a time that interaction may have raised a couple of eyebrows, but it always had a giggle. Do I spark joy? We want to seed joy for others. Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh are parting ways. And Christopher Robin says, "Promise me you'll always remember that you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." Can you sow seeds of inspiration and kindness and love like that to the little ones and the not so little ones in your life? Weed out mean, controlling, judgmental thoughts and words, and speak and seed only things that will nurture. And that is true for yourself, too. When you're down on yourself, and notice I didn't say if, I said when, promise yourself that you are braver than you believe, that you are stronger than you seem, and that you are smarter than you think. Seed, do you spark joy? And finally, to Jesus' point about not taking care of the seeds and then having them wither away when someone challenges us or something challenges us, or we get distracted by the demands of our everyday life. If we don't nurture our seeds, they will wither away. We'll fall back into our old patterns. The dream of a more peaceful, contented, calm, connected life will elude us unless we nurture these seeds. let's expect that. Let's not be too hard on ourselves when we stray from that path. And let us continue towards building a more beautiful garden. And the way to do that is to catch yourself when you do it right. You do 10 things, and one of them you do spectacularly, and 9 things you make a mess of. What is it that we tend to focus on? The 9 things that we made a mess of. But pretend that you're a toddler learning to walk. They fall down 9 times. They take a step or 2 steps 1 time. What do we do with them? Yay! You did it. You took a step towards your goal. Why? Because it's encouraging the good that actually is the motivator for change. And somehow along the way, us grown-ups tend to forget that for ourselves. Catch yourself doing something good. Expect that you're going to fall. And then maybe next time, by celebrating the 1, maybe it'll be 1.5 or 2 or 3, until finally the seed is strong enough to germinate and take a life of its own. And while you're waiting for that seed to take hold, manage your weeding. Notice the thoughts that come in that threaten to sabotage. Give yourself seed food. You did great. Well done. And know that these 3 steps work together. Weed what does not spark joy. Seed, do I spark joy? And feed, celebrate every little step that you take towards adding joy to the world. That is how you manage and nurture and grow your beautiful garden of life. Weed, seed, and feed. I bless you. Thank you.
Faith is the reason I believe in you and me, and I trust in the power unseen. Strength in my body, persistence in my mind. I endure all hurt, forgiveness is the key. I have wisdom from my spiritual knowing. Truth and judgment are always growing. 12 powers in every person, working in love, it's understood. 12 powers, let's celebrate them. Simple tools for living. For good. A radiating center of love is shining with kindness, desire, and attraction. I create my world with my own power. I control my thoughts, it gives me satisfaction. I imagine my good, I see it clear now. I dream of something great, my future's here now. Well, power's in every person, working in love, it's understood. 12 powers, let's celebrate them. Simple tools for living, for good, for good. Passion and zeal motivates me, transforming myself to something new. I let go of the past, I set myself free. I live in the now, I love the view. Life is sweet, I'm free and alive now. I am awake, alert, renewed, and revived now. 12 powers in every person, working in love, it's understood. 12 powers, let's celebrate them. Simple tools for living, for good, for good. I'm living for good. It's for good. Thanks. Thank you.
Let's give it up one more time for Tom, our amazing Tom. And for Reverend Rhona. I thought it was interesting how your talk aligned with the daily word today about growing into our authentic selves. Yes. And now for events coming up at Unity. Our Course in Miracles study group is live here in the center every Tuesday from 12:30 to 2:30, and it's upstairs in the balcony for the summer. And finally, next week, we will be joined by Reverend Thomas DeShooter with his talk, The Inner Economy. And today's affirmative prayer chaplains are the wonderful Melba Burns, Kwei Ming Lin, and Margaret McLeod. And on Zoom, Marilyn Norrie. And if you'd like to receive a confidential prayer with our chaplains, they'll be waiting for for you here in the front row after the music. And in case you're wondering, prayer is a spiritual service at Unity and is offered free of charge to all. And of course, please join us downstairs for complimentary tea, coffee, cookies, and conversation at the lower level. And now, as we bring our gathering to a close, please stand and join us together in our prayer for protection, followed by our peace song. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We send you our love and look forward to seeing you next week.